Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Football Terrace, and welcome back to that Liverpool show. My name is Callum, representing Team Coppish. I'm delighted to be joined by the one, the only. He doesn't do predictions; he does absolutes. James Redmond, how you doing, bro?
Yes, love that going on, Callum, lad. Pleasure to be on the show with you, my mate, and it's good to be here. Good to be here.
Definitely, definitely. We will be joined by Stro as well as Ryan LFC, and Drifty may be joining us from Team Coppish as well. So nice
Dream
little
team. Dream
gathering
team.
today of great Liverpool fans. So James, just want to start off by touching back on that Brighton game. So we've obviously not spoken since the Brighton game.
Mm.
Ended 1-1. A few controversial talking points such as the two goals that were disallowed plus the penalty. With obviously almost a week since the game's happened now, what's your thoughts on the game looking back? Were you annoyed with the decisions? Do you think they were justified? What's your thoughts,
I,
bro?
I think at the time, my biggest frustration, I think I blamed it more on VAR than what I should have. In hindsight, I have kind of realised that I understand the decision and why it was made. I think
Yeah.
just my frustrations with VAR as a whole came above me, like when doing a match reaction and stuff like that. In hindsight, I mean, I even said it on the day as well. Brighton played really well in that game, and we can't say that they didn't deserve anything because there was people straight away because of the VAR decision saying, well, that was a robbery, this, that. And it's like, it's not really a robbery, though. Like, I understand it was a questionable choice at the end. You know, was it really a foul just because of the very little contact? But at the end of the day, you know, in today's game, that's just kind of how football works, bro. You know what I mean? Like, they say it's a contact sport, but you can't touch people in the box, and it's just that's the way it is. That needs to be adjusted, but that's the way it is now. So we've just got to accept that. As for everything else, the one thing that obviously was being talked about mostly, and I'm kind of jumping to after the game, but it was the interview. And it was just like with Jurgen Klopp and the fact how he handled the interview. And people was asking my opinions on it. And I was just kind of basically trying to say to them, like, I understand it's funny for neutrals and stuff like that. But you have got to understand, like, my man's got a job to do. And he's not even got his full facilities to be able to do that job. It's like being a window cleaner, but not having anything to clean the windows. It's just like you're going forward. And yet you've got these players, but you're trying to win a league title. How do you win league titles, Callum? You have a consistent 11 usually. If you look at the majority of teams who've won a league title, yes, they have a good squad, but they have a basic 11 that gets them through and that gets them them points, whereas we don't have that. So I just think the frustration that he's shown on the day wasn't just at the decision, wasn't just at all this, like, being asked about, like, what it was. You should know what it was. Like, there you go. It's like he doesn't want to be there and be given his time. So obviously at the time, I think all Liverpool fans were quite emotional after that game and quite disappointed as well, the fact that we didn't get the 3 points and we were so close to doing it, and it was a much needed 3 points, but we're still in a good position regarding the circumstances, and having time to reflect, it's all right.
Yeah, no, I agree. Shout out to Zed Malik. Yes, James, mad quiz yesterday. Cal is still smiling. So if anyone doesn't know, so Coppish were invited on James's channel yesterday. So do go and check out James's channel. It's James Redmond TV on YouTube. Fantastic Liverpool channel. So we went on the channel yesterday. We had a quiz, and someone called Callum apparently came out on top. I mean, that's the rumours anyway. That's the
rumours.
Still, apparently Callum's still undefeated, but I don't know.
Apparently. But we might need to get him more opponents in the near future.
I don't know. I might retire on top, James. I might just retire on top. No, I echo quite a lot of what you said about the Brighton game. I said as soon as the game, and I got absolutely roasted for it, I'm not going to lie. I thought all the decisions that were contentious were actually all correct. And again, as you said, in today's game, the Robbo kick is a penalty. In the same way, Salah, who was kicked at West Ham, that was a penalty as well. So it's like, it's annoying because of the time it happened and the fact that it's just everything seems to be going against us. But the decisions as an isolated game, I don't think were wrong. I think they were right, actually. So, and plus, Brighton had a penalty that they missed. I think they had a couple more chances as well. So I think we kind of rode our luck in that game a little bit. But again, we weren't that clinical either. So I actually think on the balance of things, a draw is actually a fair result, if I'm going to be completely honest.
That's what I'm saying. There was no robberies either way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no team can say, like, we definitely deserve the 3 points. And I actually said this in the instant match as well. I don't know if I still agree with it. I'd have to look at the game again. But at the time, I said, if anyone probably deserved that 3 points, like you said, they had a penalty. They had more chances. They had the better chances in that first half with Connolly. It's just like, if anyone deserved a win, even though we were in the leading position in the last minute, it was probably them based on a performance. So... But again, though, with the circumstances, that's going to happen. You're going to have those lackluster performances. You're not going to play perfect.
Yeah. So here's one from Chris M. So Callum, even the Salah offside. Okay, I know it's going to sound really harsh, and again, it is silly. But if the foot's offside, or if it's a toenail,
it was his
by
stud,
the letter
Callum.
of the law.
It was his stud. It was his stud. It weren't him. It weren't him, Callum.
I know.
That's not offside. It's not. You can't, Callum.
We have to. Where's
my football boots, Callum? This can't run. This can't run any further. It's a stud, bro. Like, it's the piece of metal. Do you know what a piece of metal on the bottom of his shoe? How is that in any way, shape, or form an advantage? Because he's quick. Because he's quick. You can't.
I know. I know, but it's harsh. But it's the letter. It's like saying we should just give a goal if it's only less than a millimeter not in. I don't know. Drifty's just joining us now.
Go ahead, shout out Drifty. But does he have any advantage in any way, shape, or form to being able to get that, or get an advantage off a stud?
Technically, no. But the part of the body which he could score a goal with is offside. And look, James, I hate the rule as well. But just going by the letter of the law, it's technically offside. Drift, welcome to the show, bro. We're talking about the offside decision against Mo Salah in the Brighton game.
Oh, what you mean when he forgot to cut his toenails? Yeah, that decision. But you know how I feel about the offside thing already. Yeah. Offside, for any of the old school people who remember, offside was invented to stop goal hanging, right? Because back in the day, you could just stand wherever you want. Everyone remembers back in the day, them like school playground days and that, when you just stand in front of the goalkeeper and they're like, stop goal hanging, man. You know what I'm saying? And all that stuff. So that was all man was doing, and man was just goal hanging. So they invented that rule in order to stop people from being able to it's effectively cheating us, just making the game unfair, innit? You can't be strategic when a man can just stand in front of the goalie and wait for you to punt the ball to him. What they're doing now with this millimeter bullshit, yeah? Like, think about that goal that Bobby was robbed of.
This is Terry's channel.
Yeah. My bad. You know, you got to remind me to say to myself.
Trying to get me sacked early in the job, bro.
Remember that 0.0 millimeter that the ball didn't go fully over the line when Bobby scored the other day? You see little things like that, yeah? Even that I'm begrudging, like, I'm kind of like, boy, you got to have daylight, you know, like, that ball was over the line. That ball was over the line. But all right, little things like that, I'm not going to argue with it. But when you're talking about a man trying to shrug off a defender who's pulling him, and it makes his arm go offside, and now the rule says that your arm isn't offside, and therefore he's actually being fouled in the box, kind of, and he's trying to pull himself away from the guy, like, can you get off me? And then that little bit of his arm that's out while he's doing that is offside. Now we're just ruining the game. That's all we're doing now. We're just making football into some kind of weird, I don't know what it is. Is it football anymore? I'd prefer to be on there moaning about chances that should have gone in and not, and referees being a bit of a liberty, and you're looking at your Howard Webbs and that, and you're like, rah, man really is a Man U fan, innit? And all that stuff. All of that stuff, because I'm used to it. That's life. Do you think I can handle now, every time my team scores a goal, and I legit mean this, every time my team scores a goal now, I jump up, sit straight back down and say, I bet he's offside, I bet something's going to happen here, and I wait for them to actually tell me it's a goal. I'm not enjoying the experience of watching football and seeing goals anymore. I'm just not. So don't tell me about toenails and millimeters, man. Offside should actually be a massive, like, I don't know, maybe say, there should be like a kind of daylight gap almost, in my opinion.
Where there's an advantage.
All right. But here,
because I think daylight is an advantage.
But what's daylight though? Because that interpretation is going to be interpreted differently by everyone, isn't it?
Just not a stud. more than a toe. That's daylight. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, even if you want just a bit of the front of the body, fair enough, because you can score from this bit.
Yeah.
But it's like, mate, it's when it is. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, how many of them have we had this season? It's just like these quick players that play off running in behind won't be able to do that anymore in the future, when literally every time they attempt to do it, which is just catching the last man, that's going, and that's one of the best things about football. One of the best things about football is just seeing someone pacey going in behind.
Exactly.
Bamford's
goal was given offside because he was asking the player to play it where he knew he could run into the space.
That's what I'm saying,
and
mate.
This part of his arm was offside. That's a joke.
But how does he get an advantage off just doing that? Do you know what I mean? He's telling his mate where to go. That's it.
Yeah,
easy. But he's not like getting any. He's not getting there any quicker because his arm's there. Do you know what I mean?
And you know what? Yeah, if VAR is going to be this strategic about offside, and so like, you know what I mean? I told you there's two things. First of all, stop concentrating on just the offside and realise that Pickford shouldn't be able to play again this season for what he did to Van Dijk. And when you look at the situation of where the ball left the foot, how about we now figure out when the ball left the foot then? Because if you're going to tell me that Salah was a toenail offside, I need to know that the ball didn't leave the player's foot when Salah was onside. Because if you want to start being do you know what I'm saying? Like, when did the ball leave the foot? Because if you're going to get that technical about how offside he is, I need you to be that technical about when the ball left his foot.
Get a camera on the foot as well. You're right, Drift. You're right.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, Ryan LFC. Everyone, if you're not subscribed to Ryan, go and subscribe to Ryan, another Liverpool fan with another great channel. Ryan, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Thank you very much, guys, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it, man.
Absolute pleasure, bro. So obviously you've been hearing the conversations. What was your thoughts about, and I've obviously seen your reaction to the game as well. You weren't too happy. The Brighton game, was Salah offside? Should it have been given a goal?
It should. I don't want to be too biased, but it should give in. But when I look at it, VAR is not the problem. When I look at Italy, when I look in Spain, when I look in Germany, when I look in Italy, we don't hear the problem. We see it happen in the last World Cup, no problem. Only England alone, the people them who dealing in it, make it looking so stupid that VAR is a problem. It's not the VAR, it's just the people them who dealing in it. I'm really sick and tired of this VAR. They just need to get some new referee. This is the reason why no referee go to the last World Cup, because they make some bad decision. And it's really costing us. When I look at it, when you're going to give a penalty for that Danny Welbeck, why not give it for Virgil van Dijk? People going to say it's offside. Virgil van Dijk was offside. We see match finish and referee call and back the game and still give a penalty for Man United to win. So I don't really understand. They just need to be consistent with this. If they're not being consistent, they're going to have a lot of problems. That's all I have to say. New referee just need to give, especially you have a Lions girl in England. She's very good. We need to see some different. What about the girl refereeing it? We need to see some changes. We cannot have the same person them keep making the same mistake. Just like Adrian. We need someone fresh to be our Liverpool backup goalkeeper. Having the same referee way been in the game for 15 years and still keeping make some like a simple mistake we're going to cost him to not winning the Premier League and not winning stay up in the Premier League. So just need to be consistent and get some better referee.
Fully agree with that. Fully agree with that. It's so true. It's so true.
Look at the example of the foul on Adama in the Arsenal game. This is I'm not being biased. I'm even putting. So you gave a penalty.
That's a penalty.
You gave a penalty to Welbeck for that minuscule touch from Robertson. And even if you want to say that's a penalty, all right, call it a penalty, innit? You booked Adama for diving when the Arsenal player stood on his foot. And instead of VAR going, no, you've got that wrong, it's actually a penalty. They just let it go and didn't even say anything. What are the rules here? I don't understand. Where was VAR when Sheffield United's goal wasn't given, when the technology for goal lines didn't go through?
Yeah, that last season, which
Bournemouth got relegated because of that.
Yeah. Villa stayed up, and
Villa stayed up.
Crazy. It's crazy. So you can't, in my opinion, you can't be VAR is not the issue. As Ryan said, it's the officials, it's the people behind VAR that are making these consistent mistakes. And I think as a Liverpool fan, I think the frustration at that game was the fact of so many other games before, we've seen VAR decisions not go our way, that anything that happens now, we're just going to be bitter and annoyed about because it continues to happen. So it wasn't this isolated Brighton game that annoyed everyone. It was the fact of, right, so the Everton game we've been messed about, that game we've been messed about, this game we've been messed about, and yet another game VAR goes against us. So it's just like, I think that's what the issue was. Monsieur Ahmed super chat here. Wijnaldum said that training has calmed down due to high setbacks, hence why I think performances haven't been as sharp. The VAR tech is good, just the ones running it are idiots. Interesting that Wijnaldum said that. I think training's probably calmed down and eased off as well because of how frequent the games are coming as well. I think if you've got 2 or 3 days between a game, one of those days is a rest day, and then the next game is going to be a training day, and then the next game the day after that is going to be the match. So training probably has calmed down a lot, which is quite weird probably for Klopp, because he likes to really be on the coaching field and just teaching new techniques or learning about these players or learning about the opposition. So that must be weird for Klopp. So off the Brighton game now onto the Ajax game. What was it you called Colin Kelleher, James? The Irish Iker Casillas, right?
In his prime, yeah, in his prime. That performance was in his prime. Obviously, not going to jump over boats or not, mate, but that performance was sensational. When a goalkeeper, when you're a Liverpool fan and a goalkeeper just comes in and does what he needs to do, can you ask for much more when you're a Liverpool fan?
Yeah, it's true. So, Ryan, I'll start with you on this one. So, Kelleher came in and did really well. We obviously got the win against Ajax, which sees us go through to the next round of the Champions League. Does Kelleher stay in goal now until Alisson is back fit? Or do you think Klopp goes with Adrian and this was just a one-off?
Listen, Klopp, I'm begging you, if you're watching this video, please, I'm begging you, don't put that guy near to our goal. He's not good enough. He keep on make mistake over and over. I hear a lot of people talk about him. He's a very good guy, and I don't want to put too many pressure on him. But let's just talk about the young goalkeeper. We don't have the time for Adrian. This goalkeeper is learning from the best, Alisson Becker. The first I'm watching the game without Alisson Becker in goal, and I feel so relaxed. Every single time he get the ball at him feet, you know who I'm going to pass it to. If I'm going to go short, he's going to go long. You don't wait on the player to close him down. That's what Adrian always do. We make 4, 5, 6 touch off right, the forward come close him down. This little youngster, learning from the best, Alisson Becker, he make about 5 to 6 excellent save. And you have to give him credit. I know him young, but I will live with him making 3 mistakes against Wolf, and we lost the game more than have a big grown man, Adrian, in goal, will continue making mistake after mistake. I'm not having it. I don't want him again in this Liverpool. I don't need him. Seriously. He just need to just move away. I just can't wait. Klopp, I know Klopp sometime we're going to be stubborn. He probably look at it and say, the Champions League game kind of a little bit easier, but the Premier League game, when the centre forward running down and close you down, Klopp probably think twice. But I hope Klopp don't think twice. Put the youngster in the goal. When they look at our back four, they're not thinking like when Adrian in the goal, they think like 3, 4 times for pass back the ball. They just give him it and him look so comfortable at him feet. That's what we need. We're going to make the back line not nervous. Alisson not around there, Virgil not around there. So it's important for us to have someone just like Alisson at the back. And I really, really want to see him in the next game against Wolf. Give him chance or him going to learn. Player going to make mistakes. So give him very young. Him have time to improve. And we love what we see. Him have a man of the match performance. That's why I pray for him to get to club, have a big decision to make this weekend.
Indeed. James, I'll come to you next. Kelleher, does he keep his place in the team?
Yeah, 100%. Like Ryan has just summed it up so perfectly, and there's only one thing I actually don't agree with what Ryan said, which was his very last words, and that was literally, it's a big decision for Jurgen Klopp. I don't think it is. I think it's an easy decision. I think it's the easiest one he's had to make all year, mate. Honestly, do you know what, Callum? You said it on your show. You said he just looks like he's had enough, and that's exactly what I said. The minute I saw Kelleher in goal, I put on my Instagram story, you can just tell Klopp's had enough of Adrian in goal, mate. You can tell that. like this news just hit him hard. And it's a surprise because he's been staying on the bench and, you know, he's looked like he's still the number 2 for Liverpool and that we're not going to invest too much faith into Kelleher. And maybe I'm wrong, but did Kelleher like concede loads of goals a couple of days before the game?
Yeah, 7-2 in the under-23s.
7-2. So when we talk about confidence, Adrian has a game a few weeks ago when he does bad. He comes back in and he still looks shot of all confidence. Every ounce of confidence that he has in his body is gone. But when you bring in Kelleher, though, Kelleher comes in after conceding 7 goals, by the way. A young goalkeeper conceding 7 goals in an under-23s game, just making his debut in the Champions League, by the way. For Liverpool, by the way, in a game that we need to win, by the way. Making about 6 or 7 great saves, by the way. He was just boss, and I just think Ryan summed it up perfectly when he said, when you think about the ceiling that Kelleher's got compared to Adrian, when you think about that, yes, he will make mistakes. Like me calling him the Irish Casillas, mate, that's what you like to see on the day, because on the day, that's the way he performs, and it's like, you're allowed to have fun, but seriously, I think, even if he does make mistakes, I'd leave him in there, because I do actually think he's a better goalkeeper. I have seen much less of him, and maybe that was just a one-off game. But he actually did show that he actually has good attributes. He's good with both feet from the looks of it, and it doesn't look like that's just going to go after one performance. Does that make sense? It doesn't look like he's just going to go into his next game, start giving balls away like what Adrian usually does, and, you know, he made the saves that he should have. Adrian doesn't do that. So when it comes to this game alone, I'd say Kelleher going forward. I've really rest my case on not wanting to see Adrian ever again. So I'm very happy with Kelleher stepping in for now.
Fair enough. Ryan, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. People going to say the save goes straight at him. Let me tell you something. As a goalkeeper, play at the highest level in Jamaica, you know a good goalkeeper. Alice Baker, he makes things simple and easy. He's a position in the goal. And Adrian don't have that. He don't know how to position himself in the goal. When I look at the goal that Everton score and us equalize, that box straight at him, straight to him, and he duck. You don't duck as a goalkeeper.
No leadership. You're right, Ryan.
Put your hand and block the ball.
Yeah,
this youth, 4 excellent save. People probably think it's simple. It's not simple. Position yourself properly and you will be fine. Adrian, don't want to see him back in the goal. Don't want ever to see him back.
It's not even confident. Like, I know, James, you were saying about the confidence thing, and I know, Ryan, you're saying about the ability. It's literally a combination of both. It's not confidence. He's just not good enough. You know what it's like? Now, I think he is confident. This guy rents out stadiums and shows off medals. He is confident, yeah? He's just not good enough. Like, you know, like he's just not good enough. If I asked all of you lot right now to do a self-portrait, yeah, there's probably no chance any of us are actually really going to make it look like what we look like, yeah? Because we're not amazing artists. And it doesn't matter how many times we try, it's just not going to be as good as someone who's an actual artist. And that's the thing. Adrian can keep pretending he's a goalkeeper for as long as possible. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. For anyone who doesn't understand this, who hasn't watched our channel before, Adrian has never been purchased as a goalkeeper and he's 34 years old. Let me say that again. Adrian has never been purchased as a goalkeeper and he's 34 years old.
It's true.
How can you be a professional footballer and no one's ever hollered at your manager and said, yeah, just wanted to know the availability on Adrian? His agent has never hollered at him and said, yo, Ad, somebody wants you. Does he even have an agent? You don't need an agent when you never get hollered at.
Hey, that could be another thing, guys, which could add to his personal achievements of great buys and sales. I actually sold Adrian for a fee.
Hey, if Edwards pulls that off,
mad.
Yeah, oh yeah, build a statue tomorrow.
Yeah.
Demo Drain 9. To be fair, Kelleher conceded 5 versus Arsenal and 5 versus Villa in the senior game before. But I've always had faith in him. He parries a lot, but he will get better. So if I'm going to be completely honest, I didn't rate Kelleher that high. Yeah, I've watched Kelleher and I didn't rate him that high, but that's the best I've seen him play, both at under 23s or senior level. So I think it was very good.
Do you remember the League Cup game against Arsenal where he stopped the guy enough for a corner but pushed it straight into the path of the player to score a goal?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest with you, that's why I've really curbed my hype. In that game, he was very, very good. But I remember Kelleher being the deadest goalkeeper I've seen. So I'm gonna hope the games I saw before was inexperience and youthfulness and nerves, and now he's coming into his own because he looked just as bad as Adrian, if I'm honest, before the other day. So, you know.
Remember,
Got Stro here. Welcome
remember,
to the
guys.
stream, Stro.
Remember.
Yes.
How you doing, Stro?
Yeah. What's
Welcome
good,
back.
B?
Welcome back. It's like a dream team on here. Just missing Bizzo and Rams from the normal lot. So yeah, go on, Ryan. What you were gonna say?
You have to remember, Jifty, I know about this young goalkeeper. Remember, him in the Liverpool first team. Him playing around some good player. Yes, against Arsenal, it was a B team. This is a A team, so him going to get more confident in playing. You have Robertson, you have Joel Matip, you have Fabinho at the back. Probably not Van Dijk around there right now, but he still pull off some very good save, and we have to give him credit. Remember, him there in a first team, not a B team. Him in the A team, so him going to look much more better.
Yeah. I get that. That's why I'm giving him a chance. Like I'm not saying that I'm not giving him a chance. I'm just that performance really surprised me because I didn't think he had it in him. Like honestly, from what I've seen of him in the under-23s and when he's played for the first team, I didn't think he had it in him to pull out a performance like that. But sometimes it comes out of nowhere and then you take your chance and you run with it. And I'm hoping that's what Kelleher does.
Fingers crossed. Lord Walker, the depth and champion behaviour of this team is our strength. Our academy brilliance and Moneyball tactics with management have us contending. Very true. Again, I'll be honest, I'm not a massive fan of Moneyball. I think it's helped us get to where we are now, but I don't think Moneyball will help us to take us to the next level. I'm going to be completely honest. But everything said in that super chat, I've got to agree with. Our mentality as a squad, as a team, as a club, at the moment, I think is second to none. I can't think of another team that if they had this amount of injuries and stop starts and things happened to them in the season, that they would have survived the way we have. So, I mean, you have to just give testament to the team.
City lost their best centre-back for a bit, and then look how they capitulated. And
exactly.
Was based on that one centre-back, mate. We've lost that. We've lost our star signing in Diogo. We don't even know if he's actually signed for us. On top of that, we've lost everyone else, mate. You know what I mean? We've lost our starting back four. It's mad.
Yeah, very true. So I'm going to move on to the Wolves game now, the big game at the weekend. So I'm going to ask the first question to Drifty. Diogo Jota, so obviously we spoke about this on our channel, but slightly different question. Diogo Jota goes back to play against a club that sold him to Liverpool. Is this a good game for him to play? Will he play well because he wants to go and show the reason Liverpool came in for me is because I am this good and I'm grateful for what you guys did for me at Wolves, but I've moved on to a level now? Or will it not be so good because he may still have an attachment and try too hard almost and it go against him?
Yeah, I'm torn between which one of those I feel is actually going to happen because I'm trying to put myself in his shoes. He's very, very close with a lot of the Wolves players, deservedly so. Didn't leave with any animosity. It was all goodwill. They wished him luck, so he's still really good friends with them all. So he's not going to have that in him of like, oh yeah, I want to hurt Wolves, I want to do them over. Like I said before, it's not an Adebayor thing. So when you really think about it, I don't know what attitude he's going to have. But then again, I'm thinking to myself, like, if I'm playing against my boys in the tunnel, in the changing room, before, afterwards, we might even roll to the game together. It's all love. But once we're out on the pitch, I'm going to badge you up still, even if you're my boys. So hopefully he does have that mentality of like, I know we're all friends and that, but yeah, it's time to get, like, say this was the last game of the season and Wolves might get relegated if we beat them, then he might not be so like on it, you know what I mean? He might be like, nah, come on, I don't want to play. I can't put my boys in the relegation thing. But obviously Wolves, and it's not like that with Wolves or whatever. So yeah, hopefully he will. I thought about it. I think he'll be on it. I think he will be on it. And there won't be no hard feelings. It'll just be like, yeah, you might know how good I am. Let me show you why Liverpool came and took me in it.
Indeed. Stro, what's your thoughts about Jota playing against Wolves?
Similar to what Drifty said. My only thing is I've seen players when they're playing against a former club, and like you said, they try too hard. They'll take a snapshot because they just want that moment of glory, and they'll do a pass which they never would have normally made in normal circumstances because they're trying to prove a point, as if to say, look, you let me go. This is now my chance to prove why you've made a mistake. My only thing with that is, as much as that worries me, is we've got Klopp. I don't think Klopp for any second in the build up to this would let anything get into Jota's head with regards to anything like that. You've seen it. We are a well-run, oiled machine. Name another team in England that could have the amount of injuries and the circumstances we've had this season and come out with performances and the results that we have. There ain't one. And that's purely down to Jurgen Klopp. So as much as I do have that niggling worry in the back of my head, at the same time, I'm like, well, we've got Jurgen Klopp as manager. I know for a fact he's not going to let that happen. And if Trent plays, I expect at some point Trent will start to hit his form again, because he's been a bit inconsistent since the injury from when he was playing with England and stuff like that. But I'm just going to throw it out there, bit of a wild prediction. Trent, if he plays, to set up Jota, and that's one of the goals.
Fair enough. I'm glad you mentioned Trent because James and Ryan, I was going to ask you to a different question. So Ryan, I'll come to you first. Trent and Naby have been training all week apparently and should be fit for the game. Would you start Trent and or Naby Keita in this game?
No, I wouldn't start Navigator because we know the history that Navigator have a lot of injury. Need to take him time, brace himself back in this Liverpool team. One thing for sure, I don't want the Navigator to pick up a next injury because I really kind of get frustrated and sick of Navigator of him injury. But he's still very young and he have time to improve, especially under Jurgen Klopp. He will improve, but not to start in this game. But Trent is a tough decision because he's the best right back, and once you have your best right back fit to play, you have to play him. But Nico play a very good game against Ajax because of Jordan Hennessy cover him in that position, so allow him to go forward and do under a lot of pressure. But I will just give Chen the head over him to play in this game over Nico Williams because this game is a very good. We're playing against a very good team, so I would want to have my best player out there. And Chen, if we have a 1 week to prepare for this game, why not play? Probably 60 minutes, take him off back.
Fair enough. James, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's one of them. Like, I think Trent is obviously the better right back, and there's no question about that. He, at all aspects, offensively, defensively, he's better than Nico Williams. But at the same time, when you're talking about how good Trent is, you start to think about how important he is to your team. And when you start to think about how important he is to your team, you want him to play in a longer run of games instead of just one game, and it possibly be a strain for him. Because I just think it's a difficult game for whoever starts. Any one of them can get exploited by the level of wingers that Wolves have got. And like I said at the start of this sentence, Trent is better, but at the same time, for that reason, I prefer him for a longer run of games, and I don't want to risk him coming back in if that's not the case. Now, obviously, if Jurgen Klopp will come out, and I know he's not going to, but if he came out right now and was like, Trent is 100% fit, I've watched them in training, there's no chance of it possibly coming back, then obviously I'm starting Trent. But based on the fact I don't know nothing, and I've got no inside information, I'm going to go with Nico Williams purely on the basis that I want Trent to stay safe, man. And the more that he can play in our team, the better. And a one-off game is we can bear with that, do you know what I mean? And Nico has just come off a good game as well, so hopefully his confidence will be... We've talked about confidence a lot in this, but it seems like this season it's actually a really big factor when it comes to certain performances. And I think with Nico coming off a sound performance against a very good winger in Terrace, then positives to take and positives to head into Wolves, like.
Yeah, really good points by all of you, to be honest. Yeah, I'm a bit torn with the Trent Nico thing at the moment, only because Trent's just coming back. But again, when you're playing against Wolves, as you said, the wingers that they have, they're some of the best wingers in the league easily. Like you think of Neto and Podence and Traore, they'd probably walk into most teams in the league. So going up against them on any day, whether you're full fitness or you're half fit or not, it's going to be a rough game anyway. I want to ask you guys, Robbo. So Robbo went down with an injury in the Ajax game. He played on, had to have his ankle strapped mid-game. Is it a risk starting him in this game, especially when you think that he'll probably be up against Adama Traore? So, Stro, I'll start with you on this one.
I don't think we've heard anything, or I've not personally seen anything with regards to
there hasn't been any news.
precautions. Yeah, so there's part of me which makes me think that it was just something on the night. They've looked at it, they've assessed it, and there's no real long-term or short-term issues with that. So if that's the case, and I hope I'm right, then you've got to stick with Robertson. I'm sick to death of this agenda which rival fans come out with. The second one left back or one right back or any position where we're deemed to have a better player has a half decent start, suddenly they're the best in the league. Ben Chilwell is not the best left back in the league. Let's just make this clear.
Say it again, Stro, for the people in the back. Say it again for the people at the back.
Chelsea fans on the football terrace, I'm talking to you directly. At no point is Ben Chilwell the best left back in this league. He can't lace Robertson's boots. Let's make that clear. Robertson and Trent have been the two best fullbacks for the past 3 years. 3 years. Trent's 21 years old. Understand that. So, yeah, I'm just making this clear for everybody so they know. At no point is he Chilwell the best left back in the league. For me, you have to start Robertson. Have to.
That's fair enough.
I don't know what you'd need to be smoking to think that Chilwell's better than Robertson or even to be in that conversation, mate. But that's just insanity, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the best way of me breaking down a Chilwell, and I know this is Terry's probably going to chop this up and all that. Oh, we're losing people. Can you guys hear me?
I can't hear you, Callum. I think. Do you want me to leave and come back?
Hold on, it might be me. Hold on, give me a sec. All right. Can you hear me, Stro?
Yeah.
Cool. I think we had a few little glitches there. I think Ryan and James will be back with us in a sec. The whole debate with left backs and it's silly if you ask me. It's very silly, and this is the way I look at it. So they were saying that Chilwell is better than Robbo at the time because he had more assists and more goals. This is what I'll say to that. Chelsea fans are notorious for saying that Hazard is better than Salah. They're also notorious for saying that Reece James is better than Trent Alexander-Arnold. However, Reece James has never outscored or never got more assists than Trent, and Hazard has never outscored or bettered Salah's assist numbers either. Therefore, if Chelsea fans are saying that Chilwell is better than Robertson based on numbers, how can they then be turning around and say that Hazard and Reece James are better than Salah and Trent when it's not based on numbers? So again, I ask, where's the consistency there? Because I don't think there is any.
Callum, it's like VAR this season. The only thing that's consistent about it is the inconsistencies. It's the same with Chelsea fans this season. No consistency whatsoever, because the second I turn round and say, well, Werner's clearly not the best signing of the season so far, and Jota is, suddenly it's, Werner's playing on the left wing. Because now the stats aren't in your favour, you don't want to talk about it. So it is what it is. Like, we know we've got the best back four in the league when it's fully fit. We know we've got the best full-backs in the league in world football. We know we've got the best front three, and the best goalkeeper. I don't want to hear anything about Edison.
It's mad. Do you know what's mad about Chelsea fans and actually neutral fans in general? And I'm just saying, like, I'm not having a go at anyone. I'm just stating facts. I've heard so much less talk about, but he hasn't won a Premier League. I've heard so much less of that. Like, he hasn't won a Premier League, he hasn't won a Champions League, because that's the argument that's always gave to Liverpool players, and when we try and put them in a conversation. So Salah, when he had that great season, he hadn't won anything yet. So, like, people were saying, before he's in that conversation, though, he's got to win something. And, like, even Virgil van Dijk at one point, it was like, no, but he's got to win something before, we start deciding him, put him in these conversations. So it's like, I've heard none of that. It's now just like, no, he's better than him just because. And it's like, that's not a good argument, mate. I can give you actual reasons to why my players are better than yours. So it's like, it's mad.
And I've seen a couple people in the comments saying about Gerrard and Lampard. You don't want that smoke.
Please give me that argument. Please give me that argument. The whole reason
leave that argument alone. Leave that argument alone. It's not even worth it.
A better player than Lampard. Don't try
even Mourinho felt that as well, which is why he tried to sign him so many times. So let's be easy there, yeah. So let's move on then. I'm going to ask you guys. So Ryan, I'll start with you. What would be the starting 11 you would pick for Liverpool versus Wolves at the weekend?
I will go with Kala in goal, Joel Matip, Fabinho, Trent, Robertson. In the midfield, I would go with Jota. No, I will go with Henderson and Genie, and I will go with the front four.
Front four, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Stro, what's your what would you like to see as a starting 11 for Liverpool versus Wolves?
Kelleher in that. I don't want to see Adrian anywhere near that 11. You and Drift, you know my issues with Adrian. You know what the thing is? And this is the maddest thing. If we were to put, let's say, hypothetically, we were to put Kelleher on the transfer market, right? He would achieve something that Adrian's never achieved in his career. He would be bought for a transfer fee.
I touched on that earlier on still, bro.
So, do you know how crazy that is? This man is 31, 32, he's never been bought for a transfer fee. That speaks volumes.
34. He's 34.
34. So he's 34, right? That's even worse, right? Kelleher just conceded 7. And he got put into that game. That speaks volumes. So, yeah, Kelleher in that. And you know what was refreshing? I know you touched upon it. Was when the ball was at his feet, I've never felt more relaxed. If that's Adrian, I'm on the edge of the seat and I'm sweating, I'm panicking. So, Kelleher, I'd go Trent if he's fully fit. Matip, Fabinho, Robertson, Henderson, Gini. I'd go with what we did against City, and I'd go with Salah, Firmino, Jota, and Mane.
Cool. Before I move on to the rest of you for your predictions, Michael Ramsey, who, if you watch Coppish, you'll know Michael comments on our stuff regularly. Michael Ramsey, everyone, welcome to the show. You're all talking crap. British are the best in the world, and not just to say in your league. Not the world. Lampard and Gerrard are 2 average players. They're not, Michael. They're not average players.
Welcome to the show, Michael. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you again.
They're not average players. They were world-class players and some of the best midfielders in the world.
Did I hear a Gerrard versus Lampard conversation going on when I was off screen?
No. A couple Chelsea fans were saying Lampard's clear, but we know that the argument's going to be an easy win. It's like being there for prime Mike Tyson.
Is talking crap part of the Chelsea fan package?
Yeah.
Is that the initiation? You prove how much crap you can talk, and then you're allowed in.
The football service initiation. Are you a Chelsea fan? Yeah. Do you talk? To be fair, Anita's cool, but like the rest of them are wild.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not even going to say anything about Monster anymore because I realise he lives quite close to me and he's about 6'5" as well. The name Monster's Monster for a reason. So Monster, if you're watching, we buried the hatchet. Obviously, we're good now. I don't want no smoke, bro. I don't need you knocking at my door late at night and coming to do a madness. But yeah, Chelsea fans, I don't get it. If you think Lampard's better than Gerrard, you're very biased, and there's nothing you can say that will ever change my mind, whether it's goals or whatever. You just have to look at the 2 players. This is where you look at the eye test and you leave stats alone. One player's clearly has shone the other player for years and did it in a team that wasn't as good as yours. So we'll leave that there.
And at the most crucial and biggest moments, Olympiacos, West Ham, AC Milan. You put Lampard in our team, we don't win what we
He wouldn't have done nothing.
You put Gerrard in their team, they win more. It's as simple as that.
Well said, my brother.
That's always my argument, Stro. Always my argument. Whenever people think I'm being biased about Gerrard, which I obviously will be naturally, and we have these conversations, and the people who are always compared to him are Scholes, Lampard, and Vieira. All in their own right, brilliant players, especially Vieira and Scholes. But I always say, if you put any of those players in our team during the time that Gerrard had to firm what he had to firm, we are a worse side. If you put Gerrard in any of those teams, they achieve even more than they already did. And that means we don't need conversation anymore. No more. Let's stop talking. That's it.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk anymore. It's that simple. Lampard would never come in our team and do what Gerrard did. Neither was Scholes. In fact, Scholes will probably be more lost in our team than Lampard would have. So don't come with all of this, they're better. No, they're not. Let's just end that there. Stop your hating. And the whole, he never won a Premier League. Who cares about all that? Yeah, no one cares. That's not how you judge a player individually on what he achieved.
Do you know, it's funny you say that, Drift, because another player that I'm going to mention now, no one would ever say this player wasn't one of the best in football history. Ronaldo, R9, he never won a Champions League. I never hear anyone say that about him when we talk about best players to ever play the game. No one ever turns around and said, "Oh well, he didn't win a Champions League," because you'd be laughed at. You'd be laughed at, and you'd be told, "Okay, he didn't win a Champions League, but he did everything else."
What a travesty that the greatest footballer to ever lace boots never won the Champions League. My days. That's mad. Although he did win the UEFA Cup though, scoring the best goal in the European final, so it's all right.
He did. James, I'll come to you next. Your starting lineup for Wolves and Liverpool.
Kelleher in goal, left back. So is Robbo ruled out?
He's not been ruled out, but obviously he struggled through that game, it seems, with injury.
True. I'm going to go Robbo. Robbo's the left back. I'm going with Robbo. Trent, right back, because if he's fit and if he's training, and if I saw he was 100%, I'd start him. So I'm just going to go off that basis. Obviously, if anything further comes out, then that'll change. Centre-backs, Fabinho and Matip. We're playing a good team. So put your best back five that you've got available there. So, and we need 3 points after dropping points against Brighton. So this is a much bigger game than what even we're all probably thinking. Because every time we drop points, we need to make sure we're correct the next game and we get the full 3. So best back five available. Midfield, Gini's been playing too much though, mate. He's been playing way too much football. Henderson would be in there. Curtis Jones. Naby Keita and rest Gini, because again, it's kind of just defeated the argument that I've just said about the back five. But I just think Gini, I think it's super necessary that he gets a rest as soon as possible. I really, really do. And I just think
I agree.
It'd be a shame if anything was to happen to Gini, if he was to pull something, and it'd just be like, well, it was going to happen on one day, weren't it? Do you know what I mean? At least if we get a rest in there for him, we know that he can come back full fuel next game. So, and then the front three. Am I allowed to change formation and remove a player, please, Cal?
Yeah, go for it, bro.
Okay, so I'm going to change to a 4-2-3-1, and I'm going to put Henderson and Curtis. Oh, no, I don't want. Hendo and Naby in my midfield, and then I'm going to put Firmino in the 10, and then my front three is going to be our best front three: Mane, Salah, and Jota.
And yourself, Drift.
I'm going to give Adjan one last chance.
No, you're not. You better not.
Full stop. Erase. Backspace.
No, I'm gonna put. You know, you got to have giggles every now and again, innit? I'm gonna put Kelleher in goal. Matip and Fabinho, Robbo, Nico, Gini, Jones, Hendo in a 3, and Mane, Bobby, Salah. I'm gonna let Jota come on and bad that man up in the last 20 minutes. And do you know one of the things why I don't mind you lot picking Naby, even though I personally wouldn't, is I know this is gonna sound harsh, and it's a good job Matt ain't here either, but you see, when it comes to Naby, we all want him to become successful. We all want him to prove he's as good as we know he is. Yeah. But if I'm honest with you, we're so used to not having him, and we're so okay without having him, that I think if you do anything with him that's risky and it does backfire, it is what it is. We've tried to be as gentle with this guy as possible, and he still gets injured. It doesn't really matter. Maybe the soft approach ain't working and he needs to be roughed up and battered up a little bit, and it might toughen him up a bit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
but Drift, sorry to cut you off. This man got on a plane fully fit, got off the plane at Naples and was injured.
How's that even happened, bro? What did he do? Get sucked into the toilet or something? Like, How's that happening? No, honestly, how's that happening? I mean, the flight ain't long enough for deep vein thrombosis, which I know is a serious thing, but like it ain't a long enough flight for that. Like how you get off a plane injured? Did he sleep wrong and his neck got a crick? Like what? How do you get off the plane injured and you got on the plane fit? That's madness, man. Come on, man. So maybe he needs to be roughed up. You can tell Naby's one of them man who never had a big brother who used to like rough him up when he was little, innit? Because everyone who's got a big brother, they're durable. You know them ones. It's just real, bro.
Michael Ramsey, didn't Iceland beat you? Didn't Ronaldinho at 22 school your average golden generation, Gerrard and Lampard? Well, for a start, Gerrard and Lampard didn't play in 2002 because Gerrard was injured and Lampard wasn't in the squad at that time. Ronaldinho bads up anyone's golden generation in any era.
Yeah.
And makes it look easy because Ronaldinho is one of the greatest to lace a pair of boots. So, again, Michael, we love you, but I've got rebuttals for those arguments, unfortunately. Just to get heads up, Drift, Matt is actually watching. So I think Matt's got notifications whenever the name Naby comes in, innit? I think his phone just goes haywire when he hears the word Naby.
All right, Matt. All right. First of all, I don't want no smoke. Yeah, I don't want no smoke.
Too late.
Secondly, though, you've got a younger brother. Yeah, you know you battered him up. So you know that Naby needed to be roughed up a bit to toughen him up. You know what I mean? So, but I don't want no smoke because I can imagine my messages are going to be popping off now. And he knows where I live. I do not want no smoke.
Yeah, as I said, I didn't even mention anything. So Matt, we're good, bro. Drift, I'm not going to lie. I'm not. You said what you said, innit? Like I'm not taking it on the chin for this one. So obviously we're a Liverpool channel, but the team that's closest to us in the league right now is Tottenham Hotspur. And they drew last weekend against Chelsea and they've got Arsenal this weekend. Obviously, I don't want to spend too long on it. How big is this game for Liverpool? And also, have Arsenal actually got a chance of beating Tottenham? So, Ryan, I'll come to you first.
I don't think Arsenal have a chance to win against Tottenham Hotspur. I think Tottenham right now, how they has been playing, they look a bit confident. They look a much better team. And Jose Mourinho, and I think Arsenal, they has been doing poorly in the Premier League, 3 defeat at home. I don't think they have enough to beat Tottenham Hotspur. Because when you look at the stats, the last 10 games Arsenal play against Tottenham Hotspur, they've only won 2, and Tottenham has been dominating them. So I'm going with the Tottenham Hotspur to defeat them. Especially Tottenham Hotspur fans will be back. First time Tottenham player them will be up for this.
It's true. Mourinho loves to get a win over Arsenal. Stro, what's your thoughts on this game?
It depends on if Arteta decides to play Aubameyang at left back like he's continued with for the past since the start of the season. So no, there's someone that could potentially have an argument with Robertson about going forward as a left back Aubameyang. No one else in the league can. It's a weird one because I think it's a bigger game for Tottenham as a whole than it is any other team that weekend. Like for us, for example, if we don't have a great result against Wolves, we know how to bounce back. We've got that champion mentality. We've been through the title race as a squad. They haven't, so it's still new to them as a team. So for me, it's a massive, massive game for them. It's got draw written all over it for me.
Okay. James, what's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I agree. You know, I think it's got draw written all over it, mate. And simply for the reason Tottenham are a much better team and Arsenal play terrible football. Oh my days, they play terrible football. Like Arsenal, do you know what's mad? Yeah, I was actually giving them like quite a bit of respect at the start of the season. I thought, you know what, Arteta, he's come in, he's won an FA Cup this time. I rate the FA Cup. I think, you know, if you've won any of the league, FA Cup, especially in your first season, that's an achievement. Like, look at Klopp. Imagine how buzzing we would have been if he won one of them in the first season. So that's why I always keep that in there. That being said, an FA Cup only looks so great with what you do after it. Do you know what I mean? And since it's not even the fact they're not getting results. Now, They're not getting results and they're playing terrible. They're not even attacking. In what world do Arsenal play Leeds and Leeds have 10 times more shots than them? It's like, and maybe it goes beyond Arteta, but I'm not going to get into all them politics. I'm just going to go based off what I see. I don't think he is a good enough manager to take Arsenal where they want to go. And when you talk about this game, I think that it does have a Tottenham win written all over it because Kane's been boss, Son's been boss, and rightly so. You should really go with that if you're going to bet for any team. But I'm going for the draw because, let's be real, Arsenal are going to play 20 men behind the ball, and Tottenham just might actually find. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're going to find a way to scoop an extra few players on there. Tottenham are going to be fuming. Tottenham are going to try and break that down, but at the same time, you know, they'll probably sit back and maybe take a point. So it's just, even though we're thinking it's going to be a Tottenham destruction, and there's been games this season where Tottenham haven't shown good offensive play, so it's one of them. I think it'll be a draw.
Okay, Drift.
I hope that James and Stroh are correct about it being a draw, because that would be a great result for us in the title race and the league table and stuff, especially if we can get a win. But obviously, even if we was to draw the game, if they drew, then obviously it keeps us, you know, level or whatnot. So I hope you lot are right. But I mean no disrespect, because people always seem to think that, like, I've got an agenda against Arsenal. It's not. It's just all my friends are Arsenal fans, and they just really talk crap. And I'm like, like in 2018, 2017, you were still kind of allowed to talk. It's 2020 now, Arsenal fans. Just stop. Just stop. Like, there's like, just stop. You've got to learn your lesson at some point. Like, just stop. Do you know what I'm saying? But I've never been more confident Arsenal's going to get bent over. I've never been more confident in any game I've ever thought about. Even when Arsenal plays City, I've never been as confident they're going to get bent over. Tottenham are on stuff. Mourinho always knows how to beat Arsenal, no matter who's in charge of them. He's confident. He's got the best player in the league right now in Kane. Kane loves to play Arsenal. Ndombele proving exactly why he is a good player. He's going to absolutely dominate that Arsenal midfield. Do you think that Arsenal midfield can say anything to the way Ndombele is playing right now? I just see this game being like a 3-0. I think Tottenham are gonna pump Arsenal.
They don't even have a midfield though. If they play a smiley face at the back, they just have all of their players playing a smiley face around their box. They haven't got a midfield. And then they've got Aubameyang left back.
And you know what? Even the Aubameyang and Kane argument that I've seen a few people having. Look, Aubameyang on his day is a sensational striker. There's no point denying that, and he's proved it for at least 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah.
But even that conversation, Kane's still the better striker. I mean, it's all in opinions. Kane's still the better striker. Kane gets the same number of goals roughly and misses 3 months every season.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? And he's an all-round better player. If Aubameyang's not scoring, he's not doing anything. I've always said that. He's a phenomenal goal scorer. But if you're asking him to do anything else, he's the kid that can make a cup of tea, but he couldn't put anything in the toaster or the microwave. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
Where did you get these from?
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know how to work the microwave, so he can't heat anything up, but he can make a good cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can tell to if he's had some mates in his life, can't you? You can tell to he's had some mates in his life.
So, and we all know the guy who can make great tea is useful, but if you're comparing him to the man who can cook as well, it's not comparable.
Yeah, I hear you. Michael Ramsey, Naby got hurt. Flying coach. I'm not too sure that
flying coach.
Flying coach. Okay. Sorry to burst your bubble, Ryan. Arsenal won't lose this game. I don't know. I'm a bit 50-50 on it at the moment. Apparently, Kane might not be available for the game. There's rumours that saying Kane.
Arsenal won't win regardless. Arsenal won't win.
There you have it, people. So, guys, before we head off the stream, just going to do a little bit of fun. This was inspired by James, actually, when we appeared on this show yesterday. So, I'm going to name you guys some players who are available for free at the end of the season. So basically, you can start to speak to them in January, and you can get a pre-contract for them to move to you free at the end of the season. I'm going to list some players, and I want to get one name from all of you on who you take and why. So here's the list of players so far: Lionel Messi, Alaba, Donnarumma, Memphis Depay, Di Maria, Florian Thauvin, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Draxler, Milic. I'm going to think of a couple of Juan Bernat, Sergio Ramos, Jerome Boateng.
Right. Is that it? Is there more, or is that it?
I'm gonna see.
Could you
Let me
just say
just
the first couple of names again? I didn't hear
Yeah,
the first.
that's
After Messi, I kind of blacked out a little bit.
So I'll go again. So Messi, Alaba, Donnarumma, Depay, Thauvin, Di Maria, Çalhanoğlu, Milic, Draxler. Who else we got? Bernat and Sergio Ramos.
Okay, right. Callum, just one more time, but not the whole list. Just read the list and I'll tell you to stop.
All right. Messi, Alaba, Donnarumma,
Stop.
Depay.
Full stop. Donnarumma, full stop. Right, do you know them three? Do you know them three at the top? Yeah, man. Right, you can't ever say no. Right, for free, you can't ever say no for Messi. That Messi's just Messi. So yeah, man, you find a way to get him in there. Alaba, Callum, me and you are big advocates for Alaba.
Yeah.
We talk about how serious it is, with how versatile, with how quality he is in each of them positions. He's a winner. He brings winning mentality into the squad. In times like right now, you need a David Alaba, trust me. And then Donnarumma, literally another thing like what you were saying, Callum, my mate, yesterday on my show, you were saying a good quality backup goalkeeper to Alisson, not to replace Alisson, but someone with the fact that Alisson misses quite a few games can cover for him. So, and he would be able to stay for when Alisson goes. So then,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So those are your three. Stro, who are yours?
There's some suspect names in there. I'm just going to throw that out there. This man couldn't get into Newcastle's team.
I know, but he's really done well since he's been back in France. His numbers are very good, and when he plays well.
Adrian did well at West Ham at times. That says everything you need to know. What are we talking about? No, obviously, it'll never happen. But for example, if Football Manager head speaking and these run a free transfer, obviously you approach Messi. You have to. Alaba, for me, touching on what James has said, this man is elite of the elites. He's won everything there is to win. Like him around the dressing room for the younger players would be phenomenal because he's done and he's won everything. And he's been managed by the best managers in the world, and just his experience alone is. And I don't like to give praise to Chelsea, but you look at what Thiago Silva's kind of done to their defence. He's won everything. That experience alone can propel you. So I'd have David Alaba in a heartbeat. I don't want Ramos anywhere near this team. As much as I like him as a defender, I don't want him anywhere near this team.
That's an interesting one, Ramos. That's an interesting one, Ramos, isn't it? Because I Drift, I hear you, my mate, and I'm actually on the same boat as your brother. But some people was having a go at me when I said I wouldn't take Ramos, and it was because even though we did do that to Salah, it's like you just can't go past quality, mate. And it's just like he is up there. He might be past there, and I understand that, but he is up there. He is serious in terms of a footballer. So
the only way we sign Ramos is so we can rush him. That's it.
I agree.
Ryan, who you taking?
One, I have two players would I take. We have to be reality. Some of these players on the list, very good player, excellent player, but Liverpool cannot afford them, right? Whether they're free wages, we cannot afford them. But Jaxa, I am a German supporter, and I want to see a next German player at the club. And when I look at it, yes, we have Jota. A Jaxa would be good coming off the bench for us. Jurgen Klopp can bring him back, try to get the best out of him. And then Alaba, very good player. He have everything. He win every single thing. And he's just that make the Liverpool team better. He can play left back. He can play in the midfield. And he can play a centre back. So these are the two players on this list. reality if we want to get 2 players off this list where we could afford and pay them wages. But the rest, no, I don't think so.
And Drifty, what about yourself?
Yeah, Ryan just kind of touched on what I was going to say, because James's free are phenomenal, but that's about £2 million a week in wages.
Yeah, I never thought about that bit.
Do you know what I mean? So obviously, like in the dream world, it would be amazing, but yeah, the club probably wouldn't pay that money. But Donnarumma, I don't think he'd ever want to be a backup. And obviously, because Alisson is about 27, 28, he's still in goalkeeper terms got about 7 years ahead of him. So Donnarumma wouldn't even look at him and think, oh, well, I can just buy my time and I can get in. He knows that he's, you know what I mean, he could be like nearly 30 by the time Alisson was ready to give up the glove. So I don't think he would come realistically. He'd be a phenomenal backup goalkeeper, though. Like, he's probably top 10 in the worth. So it's probably disrespectful to even think of him being a backup. But, you know, he's free. So it's worth a try, I guess. There's no transfer. Alaba would be a great signing, as you lot have already said. Do you know what? I know you lot don't. I know Callum doesn't rate him. Depay's not a bad shout for free.
I knew it.
Which?
He's not a bad shout for free.
Depay, James.
He's not a bad shout
where
for
does
free.
he go? Where does he go? Without an injured Liverpool, by the way. Like, where does he go?
He could play false 9. He can play wide. He's quite versatile.
Above who though? Like above who?
No. To be on the bench. Depay would come and be a squad player. He wouldn't go straight into the starting lineup.
A lot of them names that you've just said there, Callum, they're big boy names. So like, I think a lot of them just don't take. Even Alaba to a lot of degree. I just think right now, like in these times that we're in with Liverpool, Alaba to be literally the perfect player to have, someone who can cover literally any position, centre back, sound, left back, midfield. Yeah, man, being a champion there. So. Like that's why.
And you know the whole Messi thing. I mean, obviously Messi, one of the greatest to ever do it. But what is he? 34 now. Do you guys think that he really does have enough left in him for it to be worth paying him £1 million a week? Honestly,
no.
Yes, I think so.
Not a million.
With this,
not a million.
Not a mil.
Beg your pardon?
Go on, Ryan. Not £1 million a week. But go on, Ryan. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, I think Messi have a lot in him, but you know, the thing what happened to Messi at Barcelona, they are rebuilding. So Messi in this Liverpool team, he would have get the best out of him. Would have get a lot out of Messi because the team would have to depend on Messi alone. And that's what happened right now at FC Barcelona. Barcelona depend on him alone, and that a lot of struggle for him. So have him in this Liverpool team or Manchester City, whether we like it, them and PSG can afford him, whether we like it. Him at Manchester City, he will tear up the league because the player them around him going to bring the best out of him, and him going to bring the best out of them too. So have him at this Liverpool team with Virgil van Dijk, Alisson, Roberto Firmino, Salah, Mane. Trust me, would I see Messi right up there again? Can probably win 1 or 2 more Ballon d'Or.
You know what? You sold me on that one. Still, I'm sorry.
For sure.
Yeah, wait. Sorry, Drift. Go on. You say yours.
I was gonna say he gets a 4-year deal, 3-year minimum, which is what he's gonna want. He's not gonna go anywhere where they're not gonna give him at least that, because it's his last move, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've seen what Arsenal were predicament they're in, where they've got players on 300-400 grand a week who are now going to be 35, 36 years old, still collecting that pension and not being anywhere near good enough to actually perform and help. In a year or two's time, imagine having Messi on your wage book getting £4 million a month, but not actually being good enough to play. That's a real risk. You do have to think about these things.
Would I make back the money? Would I make back the money buying sponsorship, jersey, and all of them stuff? They remember he bring in a big fan base with him too. So would I make back the money?
I hear that
in jersey.
Good point.
Good point. Yeah, would you put right now? I'm talking about, and I'm just interested to see what you've got to say because I know my answer. Would you have Messi over Salah? He can only go over Salah. You can't say take Firmino out or whatever. Like he has to go over Salah.
No.
Would you have him over Salah? I wouldn't.
No. He's better. He's a better player than Salah, but not for our system.
Who said I would?
Because Messi is one of my favorite. Different from Steve Gerrard, Messi is one of my favorite players.
Fair enough.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I think he's a better player than Salah, undeniably. But I just think for our system, I don't think he'd work well. Not on the right
The
hand side.
system can tweet. The system can tweet. Jota can go there. And Mane. Of course, we can do without Salah. The system can tweet. Diogo Jota in on the right hand side where put Mane over the side of Salah usual play and put Jota over the next side. Give Lionel Messi that free roll in that midfield.
What, as the striker,
Thiago
like
in
the
the
false nine, you mean, yeah?
Yeah. Dare I say
Yeah.
it? If you were to say James, would you take him over Firmino? Then yes, and that hurts me to say. But if you're saying
I know, yeah, Bobby's
Firmino or
your boy as well.
Messi,
Well,
yes,
I understand what you're saying. No, I'd take him over Bobby myself. But Salah in that position, nah, I agree with you, Callum. I don't think Messi would work as much. But obviously, Messi's Messi, so people don't interpret that I'm saying, like, oh, Messi wouldn't get in the lip. Of course he would. Like, don't be stupid. Do you know what I mean? We're talking about the best here, so sad, man.
Lord
I think
Walker.
we're being a bit stupid, and it's Messi. I think you kind of take him over nearly anyone, really.
Seriously, I take Donnarumma over anyone in that list. If I really could be selfish, like I would take Donnarumma 100%. I hear what you're saying. He wouldn't come for a backup, and he wouldn't, like, Alisson's still got years ahead. But just with the fact I am scared that Alisson's injury prone, and I just want a guaranteed good goalkeeper who is going to play. And he is young, he's young for a footballer, like not just a goalkeeper. So it's like I'd love to have Donnarumma, man, 100%.
But remember, we just buy a young goalkeeper from Brazil, when he's considered.
True. But he's a bit too far behind to start even thinking about him in that conversation. Do you know what I mean? Because he's literally just starting his proper career now. So that's why if I'm being greedy, listen, people, it's nearly Christmas. You know what I mean? Christmas miracles. Then Donnarumma.
Lord Walker, realistic targets: Adama, Upamecano, and Mbappe rather than Messi, simply because of age. But either would be being a dream. Yeah, I agree with those.
Any one of them signings I'm taking.
Yeah. Michael Ramsey, thank God thank God none of you are Klopp. I don't want none of them. Only player I want to see in January is Hossam Orr. Fair enough, Michael.
Good player.
I would actually take Ramos. The reason I'm taking Ramos is because I want him to play the Merseyside derby and just do a number on Richarlison. That's it. That's the only game I'm playing in. And the only instruction would be, you see him over there? Yeah, his name's Richarlison. He doesn't finish the game, okay? In fact, he doesn't finich the season. Yeah.
And obviously, because of your 2,450 million red cards, neither will you.
Yeah, you just go to Ramos, like Sergio. If you see anyone in blue, you go and nail them. You go into that angle. Anyone in blue.
Yeah. Jota Stevens, Zlatan over Messi. Not for me, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah.
Although Zlatan is definitely one of the most underrated players to ever do it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Also, never that conversation that you were having earlier. He's someone who's not won a Champions League as well. So
yeah,
people will probably put him down on that.
But guys, gotta say a massive thank you to guys. We're gonna sign off here. James, tell the people where they can find you.
Nice one, Callum. James Edmund TV. Thank you very much, people.
Ryan, tell the people where they can find you, bro.
Ryan LFC on YouTube, on Instagram, LFC Domination, and Twitter, Ryan LFC 30.
Perfect. And then Drift, we all know where we can find you. Same place as me. Tell the people though, please, bro.
Team Copish on YouTube and all the socials, and obviously you can see our individual socials up on the screen.
Indeed, Stro has unfortunately come offline, so yeah, for Stro it's at It's Stro, so go and follow him as well, and he's obviously always on this show as well, and a few other shows that the Football Terrace do as well. So yeah, massive thank you to everyone who watched, everyone who commented. Until next week Thursday, where I'll be back again. Stay safe, stay blessed, and let's hope we get 3 points at the weekend and all the other teams around us drop points. That's the way we like it. Everyone, you take care.
Peace.